Welcome back to the Hotep Money Channel, where we cover the latest in artificial intelligence and finance news. I'm your host, Hotep Jesus. Without further ado, let's get into today's update. And today's update starts with consumer confidence. Conference board consumer confidence was released at 10 a.m. today. Markets slightly reacted to it. And S&P reached all-time highs today. Today, Tuesday the 27th. Outcome says the consumer confidence just took a big hit. The conference board's index dropped 9.7 points in January to 84.5. That's the lowest level since May 2014. Worse than some of the darkest days during the COVID pandemic. People are feeling way more negative about both now and the near future. The present situation index, which looks at current jobs and business conditions, fell almost 10 points to 113.7. The expectations index showing what people think will happen in the next few months for income, jobs, and economy plunged 9.5 points to 65.1. Anything below 80 on expectations has signaled recession risk for the past 12 months straight. Consumers cited worries about high prices on gas, food, and groceries, plus struggles to afford everyday stuff. Geopolitical issues and fears of weaker job market also played a big role. All five main parts of the survey got worse. The number came in much lower than economists expected, around 90 or 91, so it was a surprise miss. Stocks dipped right after the release as recession fears grew stronger. Bond yields fell a bit since lower confidence pushed the Fed to cut rates sooner, and the dollar weakened slightly too. Overall, markets turned more cautious because consumer spending drives so much of the U.S. economy. So, as we know, Jerome Powell is going to speak tomorrow, FOMC meeting. And I don't know if you know it, but whether he cuts interest rates or not isn't going to be the big issue. It's the Fed's forecast that's really going to affect price action. So we'll cover it right here on the live show, kick.com/HotepJesusLive. We're over on the Kick app. If you're an early adopter, you'd be here. If you're a laggard and you take a while to adopt technology, you're a laggard. So you just should get the update on YouTube where the laggards hang out. With that being said, early adopters know something about Tether. Tether just announced the launch of USAT. Tether is the largest company in the digital asset industry. That's a humble brag. Nice little humble brag on their website here. And it is the first federally regulated dollar-backed stablecoin developed specifically to operate within the United States' new federal stablecoin framework established under the Genius Act. What does that mean? I don't know. I have no clue what this means. All I know is the federal government has created some guidelines, USDT. Let's do some speculation here. So USDT was under fire because they're like, do you really have the backing for your USDT? Do you have reserves for the USDT? And, they're offshore. I think they're in the Bahamas or some island or something like that. Virgin Islands or something. Anyway, they don't want to get audited. That's my speculation. They don't want to get audited. So what they did was they created a whole new coin that follows the reserve requirements. So you never think to mess with USDT because it's like, hey, we got USAT. So that's my speculation. Do with that what you will. New stablecoin dropped. I look forward to that. The Oppenheimer report. Let's go to the Oppenheimer report. I thought this was important to share with you folks today. Let's fix that on the screen here. What did it say? It says investors rotated and rebalanced portfolios again last week, but with more risk-averse stance. Sent S&P 500 down 0.4%, and the mid caps down by 0.5% last week. Last week's action favored the energy, materials, staples, and industrial sectors, which, if you guys were in our group, we saw that coming, which were among sectors that had lagged tech and communicators in last year's rally. I think we saw that in December. Earnings season is off to a strong start, although only 62 companies have reported their earnings growth reached 17.5% on the back of revenue gains of 7.7%. 7 sectors are showing earnings growth, with 5 at double-digit rates. Just 3 sectors are seeing declines, with just 1, consumer discretionary, at double-digit rates. This week, another 103 companies are scheduled to report, followed by 131 firms in the week of February 2nd. Last week's PCE deflator report for November showed inflation remaining relatively tame. The headline and core rates advanced just 0.2% from the prior month. Overall inflation remains contained, but stubbornly above the Fed's 2% target. The Michigan survey of consumer sentiment rose 6.6 in January's preliminary reading, different by 9.9% jump in current conditions. Inflation expected to improve somewhat. Stateside investors and traders are likely to spend most of this week following analyzing results of the 103 S&P 500 scheduled to report Q4 revenue and earnings growth over the course of the week. Beyond the results, investors will be looking for any guidance provided from the managements of companies reporting as to what might be expected in the months and quarters ahead, with an eye towards the implications of their stocks and their sectors. We expect that traders and investors will be judging results and any guidance given this week, especially considering the broadening of the rally seen over the course of last year, as well as the multiple expansion that's taken valuations higher on a number of companies, and not just among tech and tech-related names. 103 S&P 500 are scheduled to report this week. Yup. January FOMC meeting. Let's see what they say here. Shout out to John Stoltzfus. Is that German? Stoltzfus. Even though most market participants are not expecting a rate cut from the Fed as soon as this week, right? Yeah. I think they're going to hold tomorrow. The usual commentary by the Fed chair after FOMC decision is announced will capture plenty of attention, along with the Q&A session in the press afterwards. Yes, we will be here covering that tomorrow. Traders and investors will likely look for anything that could be seen as favorable and not so favorable for stocks. We think that based on the most recent economic data released last week that provided evidence of a U.S. economy that remains resilient, even as inflation remains somewhat sticky and elusive from the Fed's 2% inflation target, the Fed chairman's message and a response to questions from press will carry weight as to the market sentiment and market activity on Wednesday afternoon and for the rest of the week. Right. So don't react just when they announce interest rates. You got to see what Jerome Powell says. We'll have that going. Charts next to us. Stocks ready to go. HotepJesus.com for my updated list of stocks I will be looking at going into the FOMC announcement. Deutsche Bank upgraded CoreWeave from hold to buy, price target from 100 to 140. Tap in with that. CoreWeave is making huge amounts of waves. I am a CoreWeave investor. It is a long hold for me. I'm bullish on that company and have been since I've been investing in them. I like to DCA down on CoreWeave, betting on them in the long term. Meantime, another company in my stock portfolio, Amazon. Amazon's killing it. Got to look at them as an AI company as well. They're awarded a $581.3 million contract from the U.S. Air Force to provide cloud services under its Cloud One program. So the Air Force and its cloud needs will be handled by Amazon. So Amazon is now a government agency, or not really, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, another stock I'm super bullish on has a date we need to put in our calendar. I would probably set it. So it says here February 5th, which is next week. Yeah. So I'm going to take out like 2-week calls on this. IREN will announce a deal with Amazon February 5th when they report earnings. This is coming from Asymmetric Bets. So I don't know. Maybe it happens. Maybe it doesn't. But that's what the Twitter said. IREN CEO previously hinted at a deal with AWS. IREN moved up earnings to the same date as Amazon. AWS is expected to add 4 gigawatts 5 gigawatts in 2026. IREN will be a part of that. Expecting the stock to push $100 in February. Another stock I'm long on, another stock that's in my portfolio, IREN. And IREN went crazy today, if I'm not mistaken. We just took a look at that. Yeah, it went absolutely bonkers following that news from yesterday. So yeah, I wish I'd have got this news yesterday. I could have made a play on this. Super bullish on IREN. I'll wait for the sell-off and then hop in. That's going to be super useful. Earnings. What do we got for earnings this week? So today, or I think it was pre-market, United Health Group. Yeah, they got smashed. Boeing is today. RTX Corp. UPS, they reported earnings. Who else is in here? Boeing is post-market, and Seagate Tech is going to be post-market today. Today the 27th. And let's see what we got for tomorrow. Microsoft Wednesday, Meta Wednesday, Tesla Wednesday. Oh my God. All post-market, all same day as FOMC. IBM post-market. AT&T, Starbucks, ServiceNow, Waste Management, MSCI, Las Vegas Sands Corp. Tomorrow is gonna be crazy. Stay by your desk. Stay by your trading station. It's about to go down or up, depending on the news. Anyway, this has been your finance update today. Hit the like and subscribe button, please. We're on the road to 500. We're 3 away. Hit the like and subscribe button. I'll see you back here tomorrow.
I haven't lost yet. I've always been the weakest, and I've been mocked for it at every turn. But I still try as hard as I can.
You see, I've been leveling up this whole time. I won't give in to fear. I can't get stronger that way. I'll fight, level up, and take what's mine.